journey of history of GPR. We are going to take you from plans to the execution, and in this journey we are getting from the zero to the final stage that we stand today with the GPR in this in this world with various applications. And in this journey we are going to cover how, when, where and what. So in this investigation we are going to discuss all the development in GPR technology in chronological order. So here are some time windows through which we are going to discuss the developments. It is before 1900 and 1900 to 1950 and 1950 to 60 in 10 years gap in each of them. So before 1900, no reports of successfully making this type of measurement, this particular type of measurement that we see today for the subsurface were reported actually. But the main focus was on the research of radio wave propagation above and along the surface of Earth, was occurring that time. So basically the application that we have covered using the radar technology was just the communication and directional finding using radar. So no major breakthrough for the subsurface probing using the ground penetrating radar was actually developed before 1900. In 1900 to 1950, in 1904, one Christian Halsmeyer obtained German and British patent for an electromagnetic device to detect river traffic, built a model and demonstrated it from a bridge across the Rhine and in Rotterdam harbor. Descriptions of a buried object actually appeared 6 years later in a German patent by Limbeck and Lowry. So these guys were able to detect a buried object using the the technology of radar that time. In 1926 appears to be the first use of pulse technique to determine the structure of buried feature. And in 1929 the ice sheet was estimated, and using this RES radio echo sounding system in 1960 it was on the peak, but the same technology was used by Stern in 1929 to 1930 in Austria. 1934 term radar was coined, which is basically radio detection and ranging technique. 1950, what happens with the US Air Force in Greenland, that they were trying to land their aircrafts, but the GPR was seeing through the ice sheet, so they were facing some altimeter error, and some crashes were also reported from the site in early 1950s. But this led to the development in 1960s. So early 1960s was very happening place for GPR technology, because in 1951 we were able to get the findings for the problems like the depth of a glacier, and the current methods as you can see on the screen are discussed it briefly. I will be giving all those references in the description of this video, so that we can discuss it in the comments. And in 1960 to 1970 Apollo mission flight plan were mainly focused with the GPR technology, so that they will be able to see through the subsurface of lunar. And the first commercial GPR from GSI in 1973 was a great breakthrough, because in 1973 GSI decided to change the company direction from being a service provider to focus on the development and manufacture and sale of ground penetrating radar instrument for various kinds. So 1980 to 1990 what happened was, as the commercialization of GPR was in the very boom kind of situation. So the analog to digital conversion of the systems and the hardware conditions get very less in weight and very short and handy kind of tools. As you can see the pulse echo instruments on the right. And in 1980 to 2000, basically the application domain of the GPR was more focused. All the researchers were going to investigate whether the GPR can do this or do that, so that we can have all these various kind of application. We will be making video on the various kind of application with their case studies, and so that we can be discussing more about GPRs and its technology advancement, and you will be able to go from like all those situations to new kind of applications. And coming to the 2000 plus scenario, here we can see that in the figure A we have this architecture working for the processing, or we can say the interpretation, or both in some sort of scenario. They are just training the data and getting this all final subsurface report without any human touch between the raw data to the final subsurface report. So no particularly necessary for any human being to get engaged with the processing and interpretation step. As you can see in the figure B, you may see that there are fine grids, and then the grid mesh size basically increasing, so that the machine can be able to identify various kind of signature which have the various kind of dimensions. In this case, the dimensions are basically in inches for these inches to the centimeter, even in the centimeter, even in millimeter for these rebars. And commercially, if we say in figure C, you can see the Mala has launched a real-time artificial intelligence for the detection of utilities. You may go and check on their website also. It's very getting very kind of scenario where human involvement is getting less and less, and accuracy is getting more and more. And so our next video will be on the GPR theory, and herein on the grid geophysical we need your support. And so please share and subscribe to the channel.